Boom. Yeah. So this will be number 2, right? Okay. And look, I'm hoping you're going to recognize a logistic equation. Okay. I could try and trick you and like give you one that looks logistic when it's not. Just keep in mind, it has to be very specific to be a logistic equation. So we got to factor this out a little bit to get it in the form that we usually use. So we can factor out a 1/3. Are we okay with that? That's going to give me 5/3. We can take out a p. If you factor out a third, that 4 becomes a 12. And the p squared over 30 becomes a p. Now that's a logistic equation. How sweet. Which means that p of t is going to be equal to the carrying capacity, which in this case is 12, divided by 1 plus a e to the negative. You multiply m and k together. That's going to give me 4 times 5, which is 20 t. Simple enough. And then all I got to do is find a. And you always do that with a point, and if I'm nice, I'll give you the y-intercept. So when I plug in 0, I got to get back 2, which means I have to divide 12 by 6, which means a is going to have to be 5. Can we handle that? Excellent. Yep. Yeah. All right. Let's make sure everyone sees where that 5's coming from, right? I mean, you can cross multiply and solve it out, but it's pretty easy just to see that's got to be a 6. I mean, a 5 down there. E to the power becomes a 1. Yep. Yep, because you're going to get 6 down there, okay? What? Like we are, okay, I see. 12 times 5/3 is 20. Okay? All right. For this second one, it's still separable. All right? And again, these are relatively simple integrals here, okay? But I could give you, I'm not going to give you like parts or anything crazy like that. I could. And you could see that on the AP exam. All right? But it could be arc trig. Like you should know all those basic rules. Okay? This is not arc trig. This is a u sub is what's going to happen here. Okay? So this is going to become y dy. Great. Is equal to negative 5x over the square root of x squared plus 1 dx. Cool. If that x wasn't on top, we'd have to do a trig substitution, right? Wouldn't that be fun? We're not going to do that. Okay? When you integrate y, you get a half y squared. It could be. There's just not in this particular question. A half y squared. And that's going to equal, over here you should technically be doing like a u du, like you would do u is x squared plus 1, that's the inside part. Du would be 2x dx. So you'd move that negative 5 out front. Let's just write it out here. You move the negative 5 out front, you put the 2 in, which means you got to divide by 2. Right? So that just becomes negative 5 halves the integral of u to the negative 1/2 du. We okay with that? If you integrate u to the negative 1/2, you get u to the positive 1/2 times 2. And there's a negative 5 halves out front. Okay? The 2's are going to cancel, right? And we just have negative 5 square root of u. Yeah, plus c. We'll put that in there, okay? So let me get rid of this stuff. So we're going to have negative 5 square root of u, which was x squared, plus 1, plus some constant. Okay, and sometimes, honestly, it's easier to find c like right from the beginning. Like you can find c right here relatively easily, rather than solving for y first and then finding c. Doesn't matter. You should get the same answer if you do all your algebra correctly. Okay, but it's a little bit easier to do it right here. So I'm going to plug in 0 for x, and know that I have to get 3 for y. Okay? And that's going to turn this into, if y is 3, that becomes 9 halves on the left side. And if you plug in 0, you just get negative 5 plus c. Okay? And we got to solve for c, so we're going to add 5, which is 10 halves. So c is 19 halves. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there, 19 halves. And then our goal is, sometimes if it's like a multiple choice question, they won't solve for y. They'll just leave x and y on the same side or something. It depends on what kind of equation it is. But in a free response question, you always want to try to get y by itself. That's usually like a point or two for doing that, okay? So we're going to multiply by 2. Then we're going to take the square root. There's already a square root there, which is a little bit weird. But that's fine. It's square root of a square root. So when we multiply by 2, we're going to get negative 10, the square root of x squared plus 1 plus 19. We all together here? Then I'm going to take the square root of this, and there should be a positive negative sign out front, right? A plus minus. But this is a particular solution, so it can't be both. It can't be both positive and negative. You can put it there initially, but you got to figure out which one it is. And it's easy. Just look at the dumb point. Y was positive 3, so this must equal the positive square root. So that's your answer right there.